Brought to you by Knights of Awakening. This is the Labyrinth.
Welcome everyone to another Labyrinth episode. I am your host, Charles McBride, and today we're going to cover two things. We've got ourselves another skit, and then we're going to cover the past of my past, the Labyrinth's past, my future, the Labyrinth's future, and what we're going to be doing here. And as part of that's obvious that we're doing a more skit-based media, and that's a good thing, I think. It really is. We have, in the past, done so many other things. We've done documentary style, we've done analysis, training courses, guided meditations. I mean, you name it, at some point the Labyrinth has done it. And I think it's about time that we did something a little more fun and humorous. My favorite episodes from the past were the two Christmas specials, Summoning Satan for Politics and Summoning Satan, and really, honestly, truly, those, and then the Shadow Self episode that I remastered at one point with better sound effects. All of those were just great, fantastic episodes. They were funny, they taught lessons, but they didn't make you feel like you were listening to some pretentious jackass droning on, which is how I sometimes feel up here if that's all I do is drone on. So I like these. They're funny. They get people to laugh, and I love making people laugh, but I love informing people on mysticism. So these are going to be mystically related skits. In today's skit, I am going to contact a fellow mystic, someone who's in the business. I'm a professional mystic now, and I should make note of that. I work at PapaHood Sorcery. I'm the one doing the Norse stuff. I'm the one doing the tarot card readings. I'm primarily the one handling the Reiki and the Divine Key. I'm the only one handling the Divine Key Reiki. I'm the one doing most of the divination. So, I have a love for what I do in that. But I also know there are people out there that have been into mysticism for about 5 minutes and then open up a shop. And that doesn't fly with me. So, with no further ado, I think I'm gonna call up a 5-minute mysticism service, the 5-minute mystic. I don't know why they call him the 5-minute mystic, but we're gonna find out. So let's get the phone here and we'll call him up. They must be kind of busy here. Give them a second, I'm sure they'll pick up.
Hello, yes, this is the 5-minute mystic. I'm glad that you called. It has been foreseen that you would call us, and who is it that has called us today that we have foreseen it?
This is Charles at the Knights of Awakening. We're glad that you've foreseen our call, and we had scheduled an interview with you. This is 5-minute mystics mysticism, yes?
Yes, this is the 5-minute mystic, and of course I knew it was you, Charles. We knew you were going to call. So, what do you want to ask us for this interview? Or wait, I already know. I have foreseen it in my readings that you wish to speak to us for divination, yes?
No, actually, we wanted to talk to you about your services, though. It's nice to know that you do offer divination. That's fantastic. It's a really, really great service, and we offer that ourselves at PapaHood Sorcery, and there's a couple other places, that I know offer that. I know a few good diviners myself. Actually, what I wanted to start with, we were kind of checking up on your record, and it seems that you're a little new to the mystical community. You just opened your shop up a few weeks ago, and I was wondering when you started your mystical training.
Yes, I've been studying mysticism now for about a month. I came into the mystical communities on all of the different web forums and the Facebook pages and the different groups, and I asked around, and someone sent me to a couple different places to look up some books, and I read those books in about a month. And I did my vanishing ritual pentagrams and all of the other things that you're supposed to do, and I found out I was really, really good at it. I have a skill, I have a gift that makes me much, much better than the average wizard or spellcaster, and as a result, I wanted to share that with the world. So I opened up my shop, and in my shop I have all kinds of neat things. Did you want to hear about what we have in my shop? I mean, our prices start as low as $100.
No. That's quite all right. Last month, really. So you've been practicing this for a month. So I take it was a really intense month then. To become a professional mystic in a month. Wow. I mean, I started when I was 15. I'm 33 now, and I'm just now at the point where I feel that I can offer services. And but hey, there are people that have come further and faster than I have, and who've done more in less time. So, really, I'm very amazed, and I'm very proud of you for what you've done, 5-Minute Mystic. Most of us spend years just learning the basics of meditation. I was wondering, what your training regimen was to come so far so fast.
Oh, I mostly did some spells out of the books. I have a lot of books of spells that I bought. Writing down what I want on a piece of paper and burning it, and I also did some spells from some better books. Some really intense stuff, some really dark stuff that I was able to get a hold of. I can't really mention the name of it, the demons and the authors and the authors' lawyers and the demons' lawyers don't like it when I mention the names of these books, but you can rest assured that the 5-Minute Mystic would not screw you over, that all of my training is on point, that I've worked with the best. I have trained with the very best in the field.
And pardon me, I thought you said that you learned from books, and you say you've trained the best in the field. Who would you consider to be the best in the field? I mean, in my mind, some of the best in the field have already passed away. The likes of Crowley have long since, been forgotten. People that really focus on this, the top tier, Dee's work, Crowley's work, I could go on. Those are two of my big inspirations. So I've never had the opportunity to train with the best, but I know there are a lot of great new authors out there and a lot of great new mystics that are really pushing the envelope. I was wondering, how did you train with them? What influence did you have over this month of training that you were able to work with them to get so far so quick?
Well, I trained with a number of very, very powerful necromancers and sorcerers and wizards and magicians and witches during that month. And none of them want me to say their names. I can say that I've read all of their books, though, and, it was a really, really busy month of ritual and ceremony. I barely had time for my snack after dinner and my midnight snacks. I had to cut out my glass of wine at night because I had so much to do in my mysticism. I had to talk to so many spirits and do so many things to get where I'm at in this month. I mean, I had to do a lot of things that I'm not even proud of.
Yeah, I'm sure you have a lot of things that you're probably not very proud of. If you obtain this kind of power this fast, you must have made some incredible deals with some incredible demons. You must have been on your knees day and night with these demons. I mean, day and night, if you know what I mean. You must have invested quite a bit in knee padding as well as other ritual equipment to gain, a lifetime's worth of mystical knowledge in such a short period of time. So obviously you've done quite a bit of studying this month. I was wondering, I've always focused with shamanism, chaos magic, Golden Dawn methods, Enochian, and then raw key energy work as my primary functions. I've dabbled in a few other areas, and I'm skilled enough because of the ceremonial mysticism that I can pick up a book and work from anything. But I was wondering, what areas do you feel that you have the expertise in after this month I mean, what are your big ones? The ones that you've really mastered.
Well, I'm glad that you asked that, Charles. You see, I began my study much as you just said that you've done in chaos magic and Enochian high magic, goetic magic, and ceremonial magic. I've dabbled in the shamanism and the witchcraft I've studied extensively, as well as the Vodun, the Neoplatonism, the Theurgy, the Golden Legend of Jacob D. Vorgine, and the dialogues of Miller Achillium, and demonology and angelology, of course, as you can tell by looking on my website with all the demons and angels that I do conjure. And the Hermetic magics, of course, I've studied those, and I know that you are very big into the Norse magic, so I've referenced greatly and heavily the works of Edred Thorson and Stephen Flowers and those great Norse magicians, and of course Celtic magic. I've done a lot with traditional Celtic magic, and I've studied the voodoo and the hoodoo and the Kabbalah, and I did a lot of work over that month on the Golden Dawn. I studied the Santeria, the Palo Mayombe, and the Palo Santo.
Excuse me, hold up. Did you say Palo Santo?
Oh, so you have heard of it. It is a very, very rare methodology that not many people know much of. I'm so glad to have met someone who is on the same level as I am.
Isn't that an incense?
Anyway, don't split hairs. Don't split hairs with my son. Now, I have also worked in Egyptian mysticism heavily in Egyptian mysticism, Theosophicalism, Freemasonry, and the Thelma, the Wicca, the Wiki.
Wait, you mean like the Wikipedia wiki? Like where everyone goes to look things up?
Well, bless your heart, yes. Where else would I go to look all this up so I could find out more information on it, so I would be able to properly work with these methods and to be able to discuss them? Where else would I obtain all my knowledge if I wasn't going to the Wikipedia to the wiki, so I could then learn from there and then use that mysticism there and my other mystical practices, very, very mystical technique, Wikipedianism.
Yeah, sure, whatever. We'll roll with it. So you study Wikipedianism, and what else? I mean, obviously, you've studied some other areas too.
Well, bless your heart. Of course I have. I've also studied Triforcism, Dovahkianism, Dungeons and Dragons 3rd and 4th edition.
That's some really dark shit here, I've heard. Especially that 4th edition. Really, really dark. Really, really bad. Anyway, please, continue. Obviously, there must be more.
Well, bless your heart, there is. I've studied Buddhism, Taoism, Judaism, Jediism, Vampirism, Sithism, Yoga, Tai Chi, Mugu Gai Pan, Qigong, Qi Bell, and Qi Flute, as well as Native American mysticism and Americanism.
That may be the most impressive pedigree I've heard in my entire life. And all of that over the course of a month. Wow, you must have lived an incredible life to become, as determined and focused to gain all of this knowledge and skills you have in 1 month of real focused training. What is it you've done before you came to mysticism? We would like to know what other qualifications you have. It may lend to some credibility to your ability to obtain these skills in such a short period of time. I mean, I found that the work that I had done in Qigong had helped me greatly when I entered ceremonial mysticism. So we're wondering, what all have you worked in that may have been outside the mystical realm that helped with this?
Well, bless you, Charles. That is true. I have quite a pedigree outside of mysticism as well, and I have had many jobs before I entered into this. I was a brigadier general in the Navy, and I was a rear admiral in the lower half of the Army. I was a 23 black belt, which took me quite some time to achieve, and a 10th degree Reiki master. I'm a master electrician, a master plumber, a master carpenter, and a master baiter.
Excuse me, what? Did I hear that last part right?
Well, yes, you did, sweetie. I love to fish.
Sure, fair enough. Alright, would that be the end of your qualifications?
Well, no, honey. I was a master chef in the Marines.
You mean a Master Chief?
No, honey, I was a master chef. I wasn't in the Marines nearly long enough to be a master chief. Now, come on, some things take time.
What about your formal education? You know, I fully admit to having only a semester of college and some vocational training as well as a high school diploma. What is it that you've done in your formal education that sets you apart from, you know, other mystics in the field? You know, do you have any other qualifying educational things that may have helped with this? Because you seem to have taken on quite a bit in such a short period of time. You must have lived an amazing life.
Well, that is true, honey. I have lived an amazing life. I spent many years in college. I have a doctorate in philosophy, a doctorate in parapsychology, a doctorate in paranormal studies, a bachelor's degree in anthropology and theology. I have a doctorate in history and ninjutsu, as well as in advertising.
Yeah, I couldn't have guessed that last one. Wow, I mean, obviously, I know that you must be doing something right because I hear your shop being discussed about everywhere. Everyone has something to say about it. Could you give us a rundown now, you know, because I promised you'd get your chance to let us know what products you list. Could you give us a rundown of the products that you carry in your shop, the best of your best? I mean, you know, we all have things that we have on the side that we don't do as much of or isn't our big money makers or things that we really get to focus on as much. But, you know, what is the best of your best in your shop? You know, I'm curious. Maybe it'll give us some ideas for our shop.
Well, honey, we have dark bulbs for one. They're the opposite of a light bulb.
And exactly how does that work?
Well, honey, you flip the switch when you plug them in, and the light doesn't come on. That's a dark bulb. It's a very, very special, very mystical item. We also have dontles.
The heck's a dontle?
Well, honey, they're like a candle that don't. They're very useful for banishing. They're a candle that don't, so therefore you can use your dontle. I'm surprised you don't know this. We also have pet rocks, immortality potions, immorality potions, death potions, snake oil, dragon's blood.
You mean the incense?
No, honey, no. We only do the real thing around here. We also have holy water that we made fresh in our temples.
Well, with the plethora of religious studies that you've had, I've got to ask, what method of holy water consecration do you use?
Oh, now, honey, we're better than that. We don't have to use any method of consecration. We just stab it a few times before we send it out, and then it's holy. We also got a few other things in there. We got an astroglide, dildon'ts, and happy moors.
I'm gonna hate myself for asking. What is a happy moor?
Well, honey, a happy moor is like a grimoire, but it's happier. It's a happy moor. They're like a grimoire, but they're happy. You understand? And then we also offer carrot readings and Indian tribe memberships.
Indian tribe memberships. To which Indian tribes? Do you mean like Indian tribes from India or the United States Native American tribal memberships? And how does that work?
Oh, honey, we offer memberships to all of them. You see, my mama, she slept with all of the big chiefs of all the Indians in the U.S. and then all the Indians everywhere else in a big old gangbang. And as a result, since we don't know exactly who my daddy is, we're able to offer that tribal membership to every tribe, you know, tax-free right off under religious institutionals. You know, no problem whatsoever. I mean, we've got this. We can offer this without an issue. And we also sell the Flame of Anor, in case you're wondering. Very, very, very pricey piece, you know. And we have a few of those in stock.
That's very impressive, the Flame of Anor. How many of them do you have in stock? I thought that was a one-of-a-kind item. Maybe I've been mistaken.
Oh, honey, Gandalf just don't like people to know that there's more than one out there. We got 24 in stock, and I'm working on enchanting 24 more by the end of the week because they're such a hot item. We only sell those at $750, That's not as big as the one you see in the movie, because, you know, how many things are as big as they appear in the movie. But it's still a nice piece of crystal that really does fit just right on the top of a staff. As long as it's not too big of a staff. You don't want to overshadow the fine crystal work.
So how big are your flames of menorah then that you don't want to overshadow them? I mean, are they about, you know, an inch long?
Well, honey, it's such a powerful piece. They're about 1 centimeter long, and we find that that's more than enough. Because, you know, it's not the size of the crystal, but it's how you use it that counts.
Wow, well, you're not lying there, that's for sure. So we've covered your product pages. We've covered, you know, your history, which I must say, I am very impressed. You know, I've studied most of my life to get to a tenth of what you know. And while I have some association with many of the things that you've listed, and I've got the ability to, under the right circumstances, refresh my education in those fields, I would never call myself a master in every single one of those. Is there anything you would like to say to the practicing mystics out there that, you know, maybe considering browsing your shop, to help give them a better idea of what they can expect, or what they're going to get out of visiting, you know, what they're going to get out of a purchase from you?
Well, honey, when someone visits my shop, I can guarantee that we care more about their satisfaction, them getting the best value for their dollar that we can get for them. That what we guarantee is that we're going to do our best to make sure that you're happy. That we guarantee that we're going to try as hard as we can to make sure that your order gets fulfilled, you know, not only speedily, because we ship out upwards of 3 to 4 weeks after an order is placed, but we also guarantee that we will make certain to have done as much work as we can. I mean, we will put in the time on your rituals to make sure your rituals are done right for you. You know, if you're buying one of our services, if you're buying one of our oils, you know, like if you're buying our snake oil or our dragon's blood, you know, if you're buying our immortality or our immorality potion, we make sure that we have those things there to ferment for at least a day and a half. We guarantee that we're going to put the time and effort in on your potions, on your oils, and we're going to make sure that when we make you a tribal member, that it's just like when my mama got gangbanged. You're gonna realize you got everybody in you. When it's all said and done, you're gonna recognize you got the blood of all them Indian chiefs flowing in you, and whatever's flowing in you, they're gonna flow it all the way in. It's gonna feel really good. We're gonna guarantee that you get a good feeling out of this. It's gonna be it might be a little rough, you know, but we sell the Astroglide. If it's a little rough, we got the Astroglide there for you. We'll send in a free tube with your Indian memberships. You know, for all the tribes and all the other tribes of Indians out there that aren't in the U.S., because we understand, you know, not everybody's going to be an Indian from the U.S. They're going to be Indians from India and from Germany. We got to help the Indians out from Japan and from Canada and Mexico and South America and Atlantis and, you know, all them other places. So we're going to make sure that we take care of you when you get your Indian membership. We love to make sure to get those Indian tribe memberships out there. You know, it makes me feel good to know that I'm doing a service to my mama's people, and you know what she went through will make sure that generations to come will be able to come in joy and peace, and they'll be able to come in happiness and prosperity. They'll be able to come in you know, righteous vindication. They'll be able to come in anything they need to. With such, you know, pleasant atmosphere that they will know that we are making sure they're taken care of, and that everybody's getting off on the right start. Everybody's getting off on a good foot, and everybody's getting off on the best way they can, and that, you know, nobody's getting off in a bad way. That nobody's suffering through anything. You know, my poor mama would have been so happy to see what we're doing here today with this. So those are the kind of things that I want to focus on offering, you know, because that Indian tribal membership, it is a value. It is a gang bang for your buck. It is a bang of gangins. It's a gang of bangins. It'll make sure that we get you every way we can to make sure that you're the happiest and the best you can be. And we're going to make sure you are fulfilled. We're going to make sure you're filled all the way to the top. You ain't going to have to worry one little bit. Like I said, we're going to do a special offer. Thanks to you, Charles and Labyrinth. We're going to do a special offer. You buy our Indian tribal memberships right now, and we are going to make sure we're going to make sure you get a free tube of that Astroglide. That's right, you buy our tribal memberships for $557, and we will get you a free tube of the Astroglide, so you can use that to, if you need to lubricate something in your house, you can use that Astroglide. If you need to lubricate anything you might need lubricating, make it easier to ease into this situation, make it easier to get everything moving, and, we'll help you lubricate everything you need to lubricate with your Indian membership, because that's really what we want to push here, because I am so proud of my heritage. I am so proud of what my mama went through to bring me here into this day, and all those fine Indian chiefs that were there to help her with this. So that's our guarantee. That is why you want to shop with us. That's why we are the best of the best. So I want to thank you for this opportunity, Mr. Charles, and we really respect your work. Even though there's not much on there that we find all that interesting, we find it kind of hard to believe that all you're doing is them tarot card readings and spells and attunements. We find it very hard, but we understand that you may not have the depth of degree that we do, that you can't do some of the things that we've done because you don't have the background that we have, and we get that. We get that. At 5 Minute Mystics, we want to make sure that you're taken care of. We want to make sure you have a great time, and that we made you completely open in every way possible.
I am speechless. It's certainly been something. I wanted to thank you for your time. We're gonna move over to the last segment, where I very quickly will cover my trip from Maryland to Florida, and thanks for your time. 5 Minute Mystic, everybody. So as you may know, the last time I did a Labyrinth show, I was in Maryland before the one before this one. And I said I wanted to get off to a rolling start, so we did. We had Dracula versus the vampires. Now we have the 5 Minute Mystic, When the Labyrinth kind of shut down, there was a lack of interest. There was a lack of promotion. There was a lack, And what it boiled down to was I didn't see really that the input was getting the output. I didn't understand much about how to get our name out there on Facebook. I didn't understand much of what we needed to do on YouTube or other means to really become noticed. And when you don't feel like content's getting out there, it really is an uphill battle. And then after that, as I was slowing down, I hadn't come to a stop yet, but we went to about 2-3 episodes a month. Had a breakup with the girl that I was with. Had a lot of heartbreaks during and after that. And I went through a lot. That next year, I went through a lot of hell and a lot of heaven. I met people that I'll never forget. I made friends, and I made people I consider members of my family now. I made connections and bonds, and I learned a lot. I gained a better idea of who I am. I realized some of my passions. I even remember being down at the local incense and metaphysics shop, Piece of Me, in Maryland, in Cumberland. I remember talking to them about my Labyrinth shows and how proud I was. And it was in the back of my mind that I wanted to do this again. I didn't know when and how. So, when the time came, I looked around. I didn't like where my life was. I didn't like town, though I loved some of the people, and I still love a lot of the people there. But it was time to move. So, I called up PapaHood. And I said, PapaHood, get me out of here. And he did. Between him and my dear sister, we up and relocated me in about a month's time. And I started work at the shop that I'm working at now, the Mysticism shop. And been loving it ever since. I'm happy. I love what I do. I've got a wonderful woman in my life. I know you're listening out there, Helen. You're amazing. I love you, baby. And I've got a wonderful job and a wonderful life. I've got friends that have helped pick me up. PapaHood has been my friend, my colleague, my ally, my brother in arms, my brother in pain, and my brother in joy. And I'm telling you that I couldn't be happier to have made the move. I've been here 5 months. So when Justin said, I'm bringing the Knights of Awakening back, I said, do you need a hand? And the first thing I did was I got him all the old backed up sound files that I had, because apparently some things happened that he had lost access to his. And the second thing I did was do a little tech support with him, which he's already thanked me for, and I thank you again, Justin, for just giving me the opportunity to help. And he asked what shows I wanted up, and I said I want, all of my shows back up over time, And then he asked, well, do you want to provide new content? And I said, you're damn right I do. I said, really, I've missed this. I've missed this opportunity to get up here and to relate and to work with you. And, we're just edging over the 30-minute mark, so what I'm going to say is I'm glad to be back. As soon as the boss was back up there, as soon as Justin picked up a sword, I think everyone should have known I was going to pick one up too. I never let him stand alone, never let him stand by himself, because that's not what knights do. And at the end of the day, I don't know if I hold to the old title of Jedi anymore, that's for sure. But I still say I hold to the concept of the knight. And therefore, I want you all to remember, awaken the knight within.